And 3, and 2, and 1. What's up, George? What's going on in the House of Craze tonight?
In the house, Craze tonight, we have a special guest. Mr. William Russell would be on with us. Psycho Sal, the creator of Psycho Sal. And we are going to be talking about the mob mentality, man, and how to be aware of that. So we're going to be talking about that. That's coming up next.
Let's get it.
We are the only show for independents all around, giving you a platform to spread your word all over town. Catch the Craze is the place to promote to your fans with the dream of Medina and Sam the Crazy Man. Subscribe to our show and never miss an episode. It's time to get your mans, listen to us on the go. Updated every week, we never miss a day. Join the squad, come on in. It's time to catch the Craze. If you are an independent, catch the Craze. Making moves on your own, catch the Craze. On your grind in the streets, catch the Craze. Join the movement, catch the Craze.
Yeah, George, we did it again. Come on now. You know you want to do it. Catch the Craze. Welcome to Catch the Craze podcast. I'm your host with the most Sam the Crazy Man ever. And I am what?
George the Dreamer Medina. What's happening, everyone? Welcome to another exciting episode of Catch the Craze. It is Tuesday, April 2nd, one day after April Fools, and we are coming to you live.
Crazy.
Live tonight. We have a live show. Mr. William Russell's waiting in the wings to hop up in here. We're going to be talking to him, Mr. Psycho Sal, the creator of the book. So we're going to be talking to him. What up, Lupons? I see Hugo is in the house already. Thank you guys for showing up, coming through as you always do. William is in the house as well. So yeah, man. Oh, Gilbert, what up, brother? What's good? What's good? Yeah, so we have a good show for you guys tonight. We're going to be talking a little bit about the mob mentality that's taken over the social media world and even the indie comics world and the stuff that's been going on lately.
Crazy, man. It's crazy out there, bro.
It's nuts, brother. It's nuts. We're going to be doing that. You know who this?
Who is?
But yeah, brother. So what's going on? Before we get to it, what you doing? What you up to, brother?
What am I doing?
What are you doing? What are you up to? What have you been up to?
I'm planning JD Rosario's demise on handball. Not only that, it's what's up, End of Zed?
End of Zed. Yo, real quick, big shout out to End of Zed. I went on his social media, his Instagram. The book that he's got, End of Zed, that book looks dope. The artwork is off the chain. For those who don't know, follow End of Zed on Instagram. You see what I'm talking about. And Elise, what up? All right, go ahead, Sammy. What you
got? What do I got? I got conventions coming up. That's what I got.
You got the cons.
I got stuff coming up right around the corner in a couple of weeks. So let's see. What do we got coming down the pike? We got Central Texas Comic Con coming up. Foist, April 27th to 28th. I'll be in Waco, Texas. At Central Texas Comic. I'm looking forward to that. It's my second time there. First time was a smash. I'm hoping to have a repeat. So I'll look out. Central Texas Comic Con. Then right after that, Free Comic Book Day. I'll be doing a book signing at Geek Out in Mansfield, Texas with my buddy Paulie G with Lori Calcaterra. It's going to be dope. And then Comic Palooza in May. That's Houston. Yo, John Cena is going to be at Comic Palooza. What? I'm going to see who could do more push-ups. I'm not saying it's me, but I'm just going to say who could do more push-ups. Maybe him or the other guy. I'm just saying. And then Superhero Comic Con. That's in June. And I'm waiting for Texas Latino Comic Con in July. I'm waiting for confirmation for that. And then College Station in September. And then Denton Comic Art Exposition in September as well. And a couple of things pending for the winter season. And I'll let you know when that comes along. But that's what I got going on there. And don't forget, issue 6 is getting ready to ship for A Kid in a Comic. If you don't know what that is, it's a comic book. It's a comic strip newspaper filled with fantastic comics and puzzles and stories, and ode to the old days where comics were fun. And it's brought to you by a kidinthecomic.com. If you want a copy, go to kidinthecomic.com and have it delivered to your house 7 times a year, or go to your local comic shop and have them order it so they can have it available in their location. Duty is a comic strip in a Kid in the Comic by none other than yours truly right here. What? And don't forget, go over to Art of Samuel on YouTube, where you can see the latest vlog from our time at Tech Summer, where George the Dreamer Medina and your boy Sam the Crazy Man Bear was over there, and it was fun. So that's what's going on my end. What's going on in your neck of the woods, bruh?
Neck of the woods. So next month, well, no, not next month, this month, at the end of this month, I will be at C2E2. I'll be roaming
R2D2.
That's right, C2E2. I'll be there in Chicago this month, April 23rd, I believe, and 24th, end of the month, last weekend. Head out there. It's going to be a good time. If you're in Chicago, stop by. I'll be visiting some of my buddies who will be having tables there. So check that out. And then in May, I'm working on a book signing, and I'll have more information about that next week on the show. I'll be having a book signing here in Yonkers. So more to come on that. June, I'm planning, myself and Jonathan, Mr. Cyphex, are planning a little trip. We're planning a little takeover at San Antonio at the what is it, Superhero Comic Con that you were talking about, Sam?
Superhero Comic Con. Yo, Johnny said, yeah.
Johnny's ready. He's ready to book hotels, all that. So,
wow.
I mean, he sounds like he's serious. So we may be heading out there. So I may be walking the floors out there, helping out Sam with some of the stuff that he's doing out there. So we may be out there in June. Definitely July, I'll be in Plastic City out in Massachusetts, and then at Wicked Comic Con in Boston.
Is the drummer get wicked?
Yeah, in August. September will see me at Baltimore Comic Con. Now these I will be having tables. I will be selling. So check those out. And then at the end of the what is it, October? I will be at New York Comic Con. So come check me out at New York Comic Con in October. I will be there. So that's going to be a good time. And don't forget to pre-order my book, Russ 5377, which is coming out this May. This May it'll be out. So pre-order the book today. Get it. And if you do order it and get it before the book signing that I'm planning, bring it with you if you're in New York. And
I swear that cover is fire.
Yeah, brother. Big shout out to the artist Santiago.
Amazing. Yo, I got a funny story about Santiago.
Do you? Well, okay. So and also don't forget one more thing. Check out Get Your Meds on YouTube. Big shout out to Mark Torres. It came from the radio. He did me a huge favor and interviewed me on my own podcast to talk about Russ. And he brought it, as he always does. He's a great interviewer. He asked great questions. We had a really cool. Was that?
Mark is the man.
Yes, he is, man. Yes, he is. So he did his thing. So check that out. Go to Get Your Meds on YouTube. Check out The Art of Comic Writing, and where I talked about Russ, my book, and how I came up with it, and all that fun stuff.
Shout out to my boys, New Kids of the Block, just dropped their latest single, Kids. It's pretty dope. Oh. The right stuff.
Must you always get the attention? Like I let you speak about 15 minutes with all these slides about where you're gonna be. I say one thing about my stuff, and New Kids of the Block.
No, New Kids of the Block.
New Kids of the Block have been relevant since '92, when my man's over here about New Kids of the Block.
You got the right stuff.
Anyway,
baby,
so check that out. Make sure you subscribe if you haven't done so yet. And yeah, man, that's what's going on, dog. That's what's going on. Art of William Russell.
Seriously, they dropped the latest single. It's pretty dope.
They dropped a new single.
They did.
I don't care. What the hell? Who cares about New Kids on the Block?
Yo, bro.
Stop it.
Let
it go. I'm nude and in my bathtub with candles and ready to rock. Oh man!
Oh, I don't even want that thought in my mind.
No, but you start talking about New Kids on the Block and you see what happens.
Erase brain malfunction.
That's all your fault, bro. All your fault. Anyway, so yes, so today we're going to be talking about the mob mentality that we've been seeing. There's George. I try, Lou. I try. It's tough.
That's right.
It's very hard. It's very hard with this knucklehead on the other side.
Listen up, everybody. If you want to take a chance, Just get on the floor and do the new kids dance. Do that dance.
What the hell is going on? This kid whispered that into my ear. That was
So George, no more games, boy. So what you saying? Peep the deepness, because Donnie ain't playing.
You know, I met Donnie. Donnie Wahlberg.
There you
Very
go.
nice guy. Very nice guy. He's a nice guy. Really, really, really nice. George is out.
There's a video on YouTube with Donnie Wahlberg on the set of Blue Bloods, doing the choreography to this latest video for the latest song that just dropped, Kids, and it's pretty dope. It's pretty fun.
Oh God. Can we? How do we move on from this? I don't even see how we move on from this. I don't think we can.
It's very fun.
I don't think we can. Anyway, what else? What else is going on? Oh, I also want to give a big shout out to my peoples over at ASAP Imagination who have a Kickstarter out right now.
Yeah,
that's right. Points of Villainy, the complete volume is out right now on Kickstarter. So check it out.
Check it out.
Go check them out. Really, really cool stuff that they're doing over there.
I shared it on my socials.
Baby.
I backed it. I was number 2.
Gotta do it. This weekend, not sure if you guys. What's going on this weekend? Fanfare NYC is happening this weekend. I just got a message from our friend Omar Solis, who's saying Fanfare NYC is happening this weekend. Who's going to be there? I don't know. That's cool. This is going to be Benefits School of Art and Designs, PTA.
What's up, Wes?
Oh yeah, is that the High School of Art and Design? Is that the high school you wanted to get into, Sam? The High School of Art and Design back in the days?
The High School of Art and Design I wanted to get into, but it wasn't in my district, so that wasn't allowed to. I would have had to wait till my sophomore year. By that time, I was a disgruntled student, and it was too late. It was too late to apologize.
Michael, ¿qué pasó? Oh, shoot. Williams took Backstreet's back. All right.
That's right. All right.
All right. Well, listen. Let's talk about what we came to talk about. Sam, you want to give a little?
I think it's time. It's time for some medicine. I don't know where it is. Let's do this.
It's time for your medicine.
Beware of the mob mentality. I wasn't looking for that one, but it works.
I don't know. Yeah, beware of the mob mentality. Now, okay, listen. When you come into this game of independent publishing, right, you think it's going to be fun, right? You're going to create your book. You're going to get in here, and people are going to love your book. They're going to buy your book. They're going to praise you, and it's going to be a good time because your book is dope, right? And the longer you're in it, the more you realize that it's not always like that. Not everything is hunky-dory and everybody likes each other. You know, kumbaya, and people are pushing you, and yeah, you can do it. Nope, not at all. You find out really, really, really quickly that it isn't that at all. That jiggle was sinister in that context. The jiggle. The giggle. Whoa.
Yeah.
So I remember, Sam, when we first started doing this as a group, there was no social media.
No.
Right.
There was forums.
There were forums. And that was new. Yeah. Not everybody knew about the forums. Not everybody, whatever.
Yeah.
All we had were conventions, and that's where you kind of met people, and you got, you build your community here in New York. We did that through that, right? We met Brian Kong, we met John Coates, we met Mark Torres, who I mentioned earlier today, Daphne Lage, J.D. Calderon. We met all those people, doing conventions, behind tables, doing those kind of things. And there was no social media. That's how you met your friends.
Yep.
Now there is social media. And while it's easier to get your stuff out there, it's also a lot easier for the trolls to come after you and harass you and make your life miserable. We if you follow indie comics, you know what happened yesterday. Unfortunately, we lost an artist. I didn't know him. I don't want to mention his name because I didn't know him, and out of respect, I won't. But unfortunately, we lost him, right? And why? Because of the mob mentality. Because people decided they had an opinion and they needed to talk about it, and put it in his face and throw it. And it got to him. It got to be too much. And unfortunately, we lost him. Funny how they call it social media, but the more it goes, the more antisocial it gets.
Yeah.
Big time. What are your thoughts on mob mentality, Sammy, and how have you dealt with it in the past? Talk to us a little bit.
I don't know if you call it a blessing and a curse, but I was fortunate, unfortunately, enough to grow up in a tough area, right? Where, you know, at least once a week someone's testing you, right? Or trying to punk you, or there's a group of guys that want to, step to you, whatever it is. And I remember I've never liked bullies my whole life. And I was sharing a story with you. We used to get bullied from seventh graders when we were in fourth grade, right? And I lived in Jamaica, Queens. We never got to this other story. So I lived in Jamaica, Queens, and I remember seventh graders used to bully us individually, right? So we were all in pockets were being bullied, and then us fourth graders got together. It was about 10 of us, and it's like, yo, we're not going to stand up to this anymore. And it was like five of those seventh graders, and they showed up on our school property and looking for someone to bully, take their school lunch money or whatever it was. And the 10 of us opened up a can of tuna, and we went in on them. We just said we had enough. And I remember when I was in high school, I had a friend of mine who didn't like to fight. And he got into, unfortunately, someone wanted to fight him over a girl. He took the L, but then now the mob wanted to jump him because he took the L. And I remember having to step in to protect him from the mob. But there's that mentality of like that savagery, that animal instinct where people want to prey on the weak, or jump on the bandwagon because they want to fit in. No real reason, never done anything to anybody. They don't need to know him from a hole in the wall, but they feel compelled that it's okay to go after a stranger because everybody else is doing it's the cool thing to do. I've never been an advocate of that. I've always been a champion for the little guy. But we're in a society now where it's cancel culture is cool, and you're guilty until proven innocent is the way it'll go. Until it's you, right? Until your ticket gets pulled, it's okay to go after somebody else. And that's what's happening, and that's what we're seeing play out in society is like you're crucified before you even are get to even speak your piece. And then you have perfect strangers who don't even know you for some reason want to spend the time of the day to come to add to this person's drama, and it's unfortunate, and for me it's just very frustrating and disheartening.
Yeah. To Gilbert's point, we never got inside of the story until after he died. Yeah, I mean, there's three sides to every story, right? His, hers, and the truth. Grew up in a rough place too. If you talk trash, if you talk trash, you had to back it up. So most people played nice. I was small and learned to make people laugh. It's like good kindness and humor.
Yeah.
Free.
Yeah.
Yeah, D. I mean, that's what it is, right? I think what happened even in that situation was what's happening on social media today. I think there's a lot of virtue signaling, right?
Yeah.
Where everybody claims they're a great person, and they do this by knocking a person who did something quote unquote wrong.
Yeah.
Right? Without knowing all the facts,
Without knowing the
without
facts.
any of that stuff, without the person being able to defend themselves or whatever. They just automatically go into virtue signaling. I'm better. I don't do those things. That's not the kind of person I am, which is fine if you're not. But don't crap on other people to the point where people feel helpless. And because, listen, man, in 2020, one of the worst things that could have happened, right? It obviously the pandemic, but we were able to get inside these little boxes that you see right here. And
Mhm.
from inside these little boxes, we're all tough. We're all strong, right? Behind the computer, everybody's a tough guy, tough woman. You know what I mean? Like they can say whatever they want.
Internet gangsters.
Right,
Yeah.
right. Back in the days, we mentioned how we met the people we met at conventions. If we had a problem with them, you talk to them in person
Yeah.
and you settled it right then and there.
Yeah.
Now, if you have a problem with somebody, you go on inside these little boxes and you talk and you pull receipts. You know how many times I've seen shows dedicate their entire podcast to try to demean somebody or
Yeah.
attack somebody with receipts, right? With text messages, private messages shared between two people are now exposed inside these little boxes because they can,
Yeah.
right? To assassinate somebody's character because they don't have the guts to stand up to them and say, hey, let's have a conversation. Let's talk
Yeah.
about where we went wrong. And that's the problem, dude. That's the problem. There's a lot of that going on, and there's a lot of chatter. Now, what's going on in the thing? A lot
I can travel halfway around
world.
the world while the truth is putting on its shoes. Mark
That's
Twain.
That's right.
You guys heard it? Yes, that's what we're talking about,
We're
my
talking
brother.
about right now, my friend. Yep.
Okay.
Yes,
Fake people pretend to be offended to make people think they are special and fighting the good fight. It's BS fake. Exactly. And even if Ed did something wrong, I don't know that he has no chance to make up for it now because he's got,
Yeah.
yeah. And I think that, I was watching Rob Liefeld. He was talking about this subject and he got emotional because Rob Liefeld said, yes, he's gone. Yeah. He said he would not have survived today given what he navigated without social media. Remember, everyone was coming after him for his art. I can't believe he's making money, blah, blah, blah. His art sucks. He sucks. He sucks. He was emotional on Facebook yesterday when he was talking about this subject and about grace, giving grace. Let it play out. Don't why is everybody so quick to pass judgment? Why is everybody so quick to look for the bad guy and hang somebody? It's that town square where they just take you because someone made an allegation. They take you to this town square and they put the noose around your neck without even evidence, right? Without even collecting all the data, because it's that Pied Piper syndrome, right? And it's like, come on. And it's unfortunate when you see this happen in play, but society is a byproduct of how they're being led in the country, right? Everything's about allegations and destruction of the enemy, right? So that's how society is being trained. So they're just reacting to how they're being conditioned, right? Unless you understand who you are and your genuine self and you have values. If you have values, I mean, for me, it's like, we talked about communities. I don't get involved in a lot of these communities because people flip on each other like that. I don't get involved in these communities because they talk about subject matters that I don't want to be a part of, right? And that's how I protect myself from that environment.
Yeah,
people are in a
man.
hurry to judge because they don't want to be seen as having been wrong if the allegations are true. So speaking the truth about the other, yeah. I mean, that's the unfortunate part,
Well, and this is what bothers me about this whole thing, right? Before you can prove innocence or guilt or whatever, people just won't shut up.
Yeah.
And that's like, listen, if you're against whatever somebody did, okay, that's cool. Be against it. Shut up, move on, continue doing what you're doing, whether it's creating your comic or whatever. Why do you now have to get on some kind of platform and speak ill of the person or, just cause the destruction of a person's not just character, but their life?
Yeah.
Like, why?
Yeah.
Until form, yeah, dude, and you know what it is? There's no justice, right? Because what justice can be had now at this point?
There's no justice.
Who-
I mean, the family
Who's guilty of this, right?
family he left behind, right? It's like, it's,
Yeah, 100%.
it's I've never been in a position where I wanted to take my life. But I've been in a position of depression, right? Dark places. I think we've all can relate to being in a dark place and feeling alone and isolated. But I think not everybody's equipped to handle the kind of backlash that society unleashes on you. And there's this viral sadistic mob mentality that exists that it's total destruction or nothing. It's like all or nothing. Like there's no validation unless they destroy the subject. Even if they have no context, it's because everyone else is doing it. It's almost, we talked about it, like in school where, someone takes an L, then everybody wants to jump in and kick the kid because he just took a loss, right? Dude, that was a fair one. Why you want to get involved now because he took an L to somebody else because it's going to make you feel better? You know what I'm saying? That's the stuff that's crazy in society that drives me nuts.
Yeah. People are also really quick to assign you a side if you don't openly pick
If
one.
you don't know, yeah, exactly.
Because if you're not with them, you're against them.
If you're not with them, against them, if you don't have my
that's the whole
beliefs,
thing. Mhm.
yeah, we shared a story back in the days, back in the early days, and it was forums, and it was IGN was the platform, right? And that was I think it's Independent Gaming Network or something like that. I forgot what it's called, IGN. And so it was a big platform for gaming and artists and all that stuff, whatever. But there was a whole topic dedicated to trashing me as an artist, right? I don't even know these guys from a hole in the wall, but because at that time I was in security, so I did some research and I found out where they hang out. And I showed up with my buddies. And I said, "Hey, I'm Sam. Tell me what you were saying online to my face." And they backed off, and it went away, right? But I approached them man to man. I said, "Look, this is the guy. I'm the guy you're talking about. We've never met. I don't know you from a hole in the wall. Why do you feel it's okay?" And it changed, right? But today, people will the day it's dangerous now because of AI. They can doctor your voice. They can apply your image to anything. They can create anything. And people are so easy to manipulate in society today that they will buy into that, right? Without fact checking. And that's the scary part. It's dangerous now. It's more dangerous than ever. And there's a lot of victims to this mentality. And it's scary, bro.
Yeah. Yeah, Nam said people should be offering people a hand up or at least doing no harm. People punching this guy still even after he's dead. Don't get it. I don't even have enough time for my own stuff, let alone hate. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean,
time. How do you make time for that? How do you make time to post something like that when there's barely any time to do any of our work? You must have a lot of time on your hands to be able to hate and create at the same time. That's insane to me.
I think who was it? I think it was Russell Peterson who said that people who choose that route to attack people they don't know is because they're not happy with their own lives.
Oh,
Right?
absolutely. There's a
And
lot.
it's a way of filing for validation, right? To justify where they currently are, because it's almost like deflecting visibility of where I currently sit. So I'm going to go after that person, and it's unfortunate. It's unfortunate when you see what happens. And that's why I say be very mindful in the conversations that you partake in. Be very mindful of the things you want to share on the internet because you open yourself up. Be very mindful of who you associate yourself with because you just might fall victim to something. And it's, there's a reason why I make a conscious decision not to get involved in a lot of communities. There's a conscious decision. I don't get involved in topics. I have my own opinions, but I keep it to myself. If I have nothing good to say, I'm not going to say it. Right. If I can't compliment you or commend you on something, then I'm not going to say it. I don't, I'm not my job is not a critic. I'm not out there to go out there and talk about other people. But if I like something, I'm going to say something. If I don't like something, I'm going to keep it moving. I'm going to keep it moving. It's to myself. That's my own personal opinion. You might have a different view. So why am I going to get in a heated debate with you over my opinion? I'm just going to keep it pushing. I think Pisker should have said something earlier, even if he wasn't sure how to defend himself. He could have fired back to build his confidence. Which kind is here too? ASAP's crazy. Yeah. I know it's difficult because it all depends on where you came from, right? It all depends on what your life experiences were. If he's never experienced anything like that, he probably had no context. If he didn't have a mentor in his life or somebody that he can go to and speak to, there's a lot of things you have to factor into it because it is dangerous on both sides. It's dangerous for the person who's actually being inflicted by all this pain. Because sometimes you feel so alone or ashamed that you can't talk about it because you don't want to embarrass or bring your family into a situation that it's hard to explain how you got there. There's a lot of things you have to consider. And I think everyone needs to be able to find an outlet to talk about things, but I think people should mind their business and stop jumping to conclusions and wait till all the evidence comes out before, and just let the system play its part. Why do you want to be judge, jury, and executioner? It doesn't make sense.
Yeah, Gilbert, I think, posted he was at peace when he wrote that letter, but that's the confidence he needed to push himself forward, not take his own life. Yeah, I mean, it's sad, dude. I remember when we were doing this, when you were still in New York and years ago, and people would come up to the table with their kids or whatever, and they'd be like, "Hey, so how does my kid get into comics?" Or if they were a little older, what are some of the things that I should look out for? You know what I mean? And you try to advise them,
Yeah.
draw, write. Some of the biggest things you told them about was be careful, make sure your stuff is copyrighted. You don't want the big companies to take it, and do whatever they want with your product. Now it's like when you talk to people who are trying to get into the industry, you almost have to, warn them of their fellow indie creators that are in doing the same thing. Be careful of them, be careful of, and I'm not saying, listen, there are plenty of really good people out there. A lot of them are on this chat right now.
Yeah.
A lot of these people on this chat are some of the best people that we've met, even doing this and we're about to have, William will be on, we met him once at a show, and, it's one of those things where you just click, you know what I mean?
Yeah. He's a squatter.
So there are still good people. Yeah, there are good people in the industry, in the indies. But there are also, you got to be mindful of those that, are maybe there just to take advantage or
Nefarious reasons.
watch what you're doing, whatever it is, you got to be careful. And that's the thing, when you come in this as a newbie, you don't know these things, right? You think, hey, this seems like a cool, community. Let me join it and see what happens. And you come to find out that, they are, like you said, nefarious characters, even within it. So you got to be careful. And that's what shows like this are for. There are a lot of lazy ass fake people. There are a lot.
Yeah.
A lot, dude. A lot.
And unfortunately today, depression is widespread, right? And it's also in on some case, a lot of cases, it's real. On other cases, it's the thing to say, right? But because of that, there's a lot of unhappy people. And when you have that many people that are unhappy, they want to be part of something. Sometimes they make the wrong decision on the movements they want to be a part of, and sometimes it's the bad one, right? And so it's I've always said, even since I was a kid, and rest in peace, my mom, because she instilled values in me that stick with me to today. I've never been a follower of the crowd. I've always created my own lane, right? And I can see the threat and the danger as it's lurking around the corner, and I avoided it. I never put myself in a situation that's going to compromise me, right? But not everybody has that. So I think, for people who have friends that are going through something, bro, give them a moment to talk. Listen to them. Give them an outlet. Give them some space. Be the ear, because sometimes all it takes is an ear, somebody just to listen, not to give advice. Sometimes people just want someone to hear them, right? And even if it's uncomfortable for you, and you're not a therapist, you don't know how to handle it, just silence is golden, and empathy goes a long way, right? That can solve a lot. Right? It's not the answer to everything, but it can give some solace to somebody who's going through a difficult time at a moment, right? And that moment, those 20 minutes, that hour can make the difference in that person's life. You never know. I said, but if you're going to choose that other path, it comes with consequences, and it's a boomerang. Eventually it's going to come back to you. So be mindful of the people that you prosecute or persecute, because it's going to come back to you one day. Because that's how life works.
Yeah, some chatter there. Johnny says, to me, if one does find someone or something unfavorable, don't bother with them. Trust me, half the people don't know a person has a problem with them or their work, and the other don't care. Yeah, the other half don't care. What type of psychotics in the house representing? What's up? We should build up, not bring down. Unfortunately, Johnny is like, it's easier to destroy than create sometimes.
Yeah.
Gilbert says, I've been ganged up online before. I've lost some and won some. I suffered from depression and anxiety for a long time. Tough to defend yourself when you are not used to speaking up.
Yeah.
And they just seem to keep coming. Like when as soon as you think you've gotten rid of one, another comes up. It's freaking nuts on this thing.
Yeah.
One thing I got from growing up in a tough neighborhood and in a Hispanic family where teasing is an art form, you learn to tell your cousins to get bent with a smile and let it slide. Yo, honestly, dude, that is so true, dude. And coming from like a Hispanic, that's all we did was rib each other. That's all we did was diss each other. And so you build this tough skin, because of it sometimes, So I agree with them on that one, dude. I learned.
I agree with you, David, because there was only one line with me. You could say anything you want about me. You can rank on me, diss me. It just rolled off my back. But it was the mother jokes I didn't stand for, right? So it was like, because my mom was everything to me, right? So, and I made that clear with the biggest, the toughest of guys. When they started with the ranking with the mama jokes, I stopped the conversation and said, wait, hold on. If we're going to continue hanging out and being cool, no moms. You can say whatever you want about me, but no moms, right? And they respected that, because they're like, all right, there's a line with him, right? But everything else, it rolled, because it's just words. It's just words. So for me, it was like the only trigger was my mom, because she came from a difficult life, and I was protecting her. The moment my puberty kicked in, you couldn't say shit about my mom. Excuse my language. But
put that MA up there now. You gotta put the MA up there. You did it to yourself. Jesus.
It's like
that's it.
No. And but with me, you can say whatever. It didn't bother me. I was like, all right, whatever. It's just words.
But you know what? And this is one thing about growing up like this too, is that the minute they know your weakness, they want to attack it even more. So never show weakness. That was my thing too, growing up. Never show weakness. The minute you show it, that's when they attack you even more.
Yeah.
And it sounds crazy, right? It sounds nuts that really that's how, but it worked. Like it worked.
It's like when they smell blood. It's like,
yeah, dude. And I think that's what it is, right? On social media, the minute they see that they got you or they did something, they just keep attacking, bro. And the problem is, you can't just punch them in the face, unfortunately, right? You got to kind of like eat it.
I don't know, but no,
yeah, you can't punch it through the screen.
I think make your standards clear. Make everybody. You have to have a line, and everybody knows what that line is. And it's like I'm all good for everything else, but there's a line that don't cross, because then there's consequences and repercussions.
That's true, right there too, man.
Growing up,
you know who's friendly and you know who's hurtful.
Yeah, you know who's really
absolutely,
trying to get you,
absolutely.
Right?
You know how it is. But yo, did Will leave us, or he's still there?
He's waiting. He's chomping at the bit. So I'm gonna give him that the indie news intro, and we're gonna bring him right in.
Cover your ears.
What's up?
What's going on, guys?
Wow, look at that setup.
Bro.
Look at that.
You can come buy it all. Get it out of my way. That's what OnlyFans get you.
Those ankle shots, man, they're working.
You got to be willing to show those size 15s, man.
Don't
be scared now.
Show those Funyuns, bro.
What's up, everybody? Hello, people in chat land.
What up? Oh, well, what's going on, my brother? How you been, man? How you been?
Busy. Moved my oldest daughter this weekend. Her and her fiance bought their first home. So we moved them 13 and a half hours Saturday to get all that done. Then another 6 hours on Sunday. And so I'm officially at this point, 33 days with 1 day off.
Oh, boy. Wow. So let me ask you this, Will. Have you had any chance to create, draw? I get most commissions and stuff like that. So
yeah, I've been working on that stuff. We dropped a new cover for BTC Comics. It actually got to do a retailer exclusive for BTC, which is a huge retailer. Nelson and his team, super great guys, super cool. They were gracious enough to let us do that. So we dropped that cover. What's up, Hugo? Let's see. Yeah, it's just grinding, man. I mean, 14 hours a day, 6 days a week. That's the way it goes.
All right. So for those who don't know you, well, give us a quick intro.
I don't know how you cannot know him, but go ahead. Just play the game.
Well, let's see the quick one. Obviously, I'm a full-time professional published cover artist. I've been doing this for 5 years now, and in that time frame, I have just a little over 100 published covers, including retailer exclusives for like Image Comics, Dynamite, tons of indie projects, stuff like Department of Truth, Stray Dogs, Vampirella, etc. And then I'll also have my own creator-owned comic in the indie world with Psycho Sal, which is about a serial killer in New Orleans in the 1980s. We just wrapped up issue number 6's Kickstarter, and we are one of the fastest producing indie books on the market.
Bro, you had me yesterday with that April Fool's joke you pulled on everybody. So William posted that it had gotten picked up and they were about to make a movie. He had a list of like the people that were going to be in it, and I'm like, yeah. And then he's like, one can dream. I'm like, you jerk.
Yeah, that one was a good one. It got a lot of people. What'd you think of my lineup though for my people to play the characters?
It was solid.
I thought it was pretty good.
It was solid.
Jeffrey Dean Morgan as the older lead FBI agent. That young lady from what was it called, Ready or Not or whatever movie. James Wan, horror director extraordinaire, and then of course Alan Ritchson.
See, look, I at least fell for it too. See, you got her excited. See,
dude, I would, it would be so much bigger than that if something like that happened. You would see me going live and just going ridiculously crazy about it. But hey, you never know. These companies, that's what they're shopping right now is indie product, and horror is on top at the moment for the most part. So I thought it was pretty funny.
Are you doing? You just mentioned the word. Are you doing any horror shows this year?
Offhand, I don't remember. It's really weird for me. I definitely need to do more horror cons. I usually do anywhere between two to three cons a month from February to November. At least one here or there. Only once a month. I might have something going on with my daughters. I've got four daughters. And so, but most of the time it's at least two a month. So, and these things are always booked out months and months and months and months ahead. Some are booked by me, some are booked by a friend of mine. And it seems like every time a horror con opens up their damn thing, I'm already booked somewhere else. And I'm just one of those people. If I give my word to someone else, that's where I'm going to go. I mean, I was booked at a show this month in Wyoming. And it's a smaller con, but they came to me first about coming in as a guest artist, and then C2E2 contacted, and I was like, I'm sorry guys, I'll be in Wyoming.
Yeah.
Now some people are probably like, are you insane? Because I've done C2E2. I know what C2E2 can be, but in my personal opinion, especially when these guys are generous enough to want to invite you in as a guest artist and cover your table, cover your expenses, because that's rare as an up and coming indie artist, even though considering the work I've done, you got to stick to your word. I don't think it's right to back out on them. I mean, so I'm doing a lot of shows this year as a guest artist in Pro Row. I Fan Expo Dallas, Fan Expo Denver, and a bunch of others. So yeah.
So speaking of your work, Will, tell us a little bit. So you said that you decided to go professional as far as doing cover art and stuff like that. What were you doing before that? And what, talk to us about the decision, bro. Like, I'm sure you sat down and like weighing your options. How did you make that decision?
Well, I was working in the adult movie industry. And,
okay.
I got tired of all the stalkers, and no means no, ladies. No. Actually, prior to this, I loved my last career. I absolutely loved it. I was with them for 7.5 years. I handled life insurance benefits for union members and firefighters, police, stuff like that, military. I loved it. I mean, I made six figures without breaking a sweat and working 4 days a week.
Nice.
And I don't know. And prior to this weird decision, I actually hadn't picked a pencil up in 10 years. And so 6 years ago, I'm working that career. I'm loving it. I have no complaints about it. I absolutely loved it. I love the people. And, I was sitting in a park one day and I was in between appointments. I was having lunch. I was doing paperwork on my computer. And, I just happened to look over at one of the pavilions, and there's a family sitting in the pavilion, and there's kids sitting there drawing and coloring and stuff. And for some weird reason, something just flipped. And I was like, I want to go back to drawing. Because the sad thing is, years prior to that, in 2000, I actually took my portfolio to Wizard World Chicago. Drove that, 10, 11 hours, whatever it was, to there. And I actually met with Matt Hawkins, who is the editor-in-chief of Image Comics.
Yeah.
Showed him my portfolio, looked through it. He loved what he saw. He gave me his business card and asked me to send him more stuff. I went home and never did nothing.
Oh, wow.
So I had that opportunity, but I let people scare me and freak me out, because it is more difficult back then than it is now to be a professional artist, for sure. But I don't know whether it was the fear of success or the fear of taking that chance, but I never did nothing with it. And then that day, that just flipped, and I immediately left the park where I was at, went straight to Hobby Lobby and bought art supplies, because like I said, I hadn't picked a pencil up in 10 years. And at that very moment, I started grinding art anywhere between 2 to 4 hours a day, 7 days a week. And I did that for a year straight without missing a day while working my other career.
Right.
And then I started a year later, I started putting myself on social media, joining the comic groups, making an art page for myself. And I started putting myself out there. And within 6 months, I had my first cover for an indie project. Within another 6 months or so, right around the 1 year mark, I landed my first published cover with one of the with Vampirella number 18 for Dynamite Comics, and then it just, went, and here we are, 5 years later, and like I said, man, 100+ published covers. So
how did you know how much to charge for these covers?
I started out dirt cheap at the beginning. I think a lot of artists today really fail at that because they see what we are charging, someone who's been in the business as long as we've been, even though we're still newborns in the grand scheme of things. They'll see what we charge, or they find out what we charge, whether it's commissions or cover work, and they try to do the same thing. You can't do that. You can't show up on day one. I don't give a shit how good you are. You can't show up on day one and think you're supposed to get, Mark Silvestri money, or, any of these other bigger names, or anybody that's been in the business 5 or 10 years.
Right.
So I started out, I was doing, $50 commissions, and I was doing, $100, full body, full background, full color kind of things. Right. And I was doing $100 covers when I first started. And they're, after about a handful of covers, and I had a little bit of a library behind me that I could show people, prove to them I can do the work, I can do the deadlines, I can put up quality. I started getting more business, and I just upped my price there. And now, to be fair, even to this day, my prices are still a bit low compared to other people in my lane of popularity who hasn't done half the covers I've done. So, I do need to, at some point, raise my prices again, because, it's, I think it's pretty good quality work.
Yeah, that's nice, bro.
That's so, nice. It's just one of those things where, new artists, I think they kind of fail at that price part, because, again, let's be honest, a lot of people in the art community and the comic world, they really have a hard time with the business side of it.
Yeah.
And that's so important for this. You got to know how to market yourself. You got to know how to promote yourself. You have to be your biggest cheerer. And you have to be, if you want to make a name for yourself, you have to be the biggest grinder in the room, or you might as well stay home.
You said something when you were talking about when you decided to take the plunge. You said it's easier now for artists than it is back then. Tell us a little bit about why you feel that way.
Okay, so the reason,
agree, but
in my personal opinion, right? In my personal opinion, the reason it's easier now is you have social media. We didn't have that back then. When I was, seeing Matt Hawkins, if your ass, excuse my language, if you didn't get in a vehicle and drive miles and miles and miles to go to a con and pray to God there's an editor there that would even be willing to talk to you, that was the only way you got seen. But now with social media, you have a major platform, but now also that's a major platform for thousands and thousands of other people. So you got to figure out how to be seen. And I figured the easiest way for me to, even in that scenario of it being easier, you got Instagram, you got Facebook, you got TikTok, you got all this other stuff that you can post to and you can share and you can promote. You could be successful in this industry and never have to do a cover. You could just do commissions for fans. But, I knew that I'm not the best artist, I haven't mastered the ass kissery of this industry yet, because there's no filter between my brain and my mouth, and I have zero tolerance for stupidity and petty crap. So I knew I had to figure out a way to outrun that and outrun the fact there's thousands of people more talented than me. And that was to be the biggest grinder in the room. And I refused to be outworked by anybody. And that's not me trying to brag or pat myself on the back or anything like that. That's just always been my mentality. I have a very addictive personality. So that's why I stay away from gaming or anything like that, because I'm determined I'm going to be the best or close to it as possible. So I apply, luckily that applies to what I'm doing here. There's a reason I did record numbers in my other company. Number one in the company out of 3,000 people on several occasions, in the top 10 many times out of 3,000 employees, because I don't do anything else with my time. So the personality works for this. But I mean, I wouldn't change it for anything in the world. I mean, it's a tough one. A lot of people don't realize that this type of career is both physically draining, emotionally draining, and mentally draining. And there's a lot of obstacles you have to bob and weave through, even with all the access to social media to help you be seen. So,
well, I think that access is what also, it's a double-edged sword, right? Because you have the access to be seen, but that access also allows people to think that they can say things to you or treat you a certain, you know what I mean? So yeah, it's a little bit of both. Hugo has a question for you. Will, says, William, you said you went to Hobby Lobby and got some art supplies. Do you still work in traditional medium or do you work in digital or a bit of both?
All traditional. Everything I do is hand drawn, traditional pencil, traditional 11x17 artboard. It's all drawn in pencil. I take that, I scan it into the computer once I have it approved by the retailer or whomever I'm doing a cover for. I reprint that out in non-photo blue ink, just like old school way. And then I ink that, scan that, send it to my digital colorist. And I'm blessed in that I've got 3 digital colorists that I work with to help with the workload of everything I'm dumping out. I mean, I've dumped 4 covers in the last month and a half, 2 months. I use Sean Forney and I use Dave and Dan Kemp, all 3 incredibly talented colorists. But yeah, I'm traditional. I thought I was going to try to do digital. I went and spent $1,000 on an iPad Pro and put Procreate on it. And I think it's still sitting in there on the counter collecting dust.
Yeah, I can't dig it. I'm shout out to Lou Pons because she's so skilled on iPad Pro. I can't do it. I have my right behind me. I have my Cintiq that monster back there. But I do both. But what kind of scanner flatbed do you have?
I use what is it? Epson. Epson printer, one of those big ones that scans 11x17.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
It's a great printer. I love it, man. It's incredible. So it's definitely worth the money.
Nice. Are you using laser or inkjet?
What is that? Inkjet, I think. I'm pretty sure it's inkjet. It's the cartridges, you
yes,
know?
Inkjet. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I'm sure the other one's probably the one that would make better sense, like financially. But I'm also, I get that question a lot of times at cons, like what equipment do you use or what type of hours do you do, or, with the traditional and stuff like that. And it's super important that you, like, I guess that's one of the reasons I don't get caught up too much in the social media side of it, right? Because I only get on social media a couple times a day, and that's long enough to post updates or something like that, and I'm gone. So I don't surf the news feed. Every once in a while, I'll see stuff that pops up, and it just makes me want to beat my head against a brick wall. And being someone who's opinionated, I have to, and just run. But I get that question. I'll try to tell people, and I try to, explain to them, it's not about really the equipment you're using, and I know every artist says that, but it really is just basic tools, and there's no super secrets, or anything like that. It's just practice. If you want to get better, draw more. If you want to get more work, draw more. If you want to be seen more, promote more. I've had people on my page. My Facebook page is my business. Yeah. From day one. My art group is my business. And I've had people complain that I've had other artists or other retailers want to tell me that I promote too much. Well, guess what? The algorithm's already fighting against you from the get-go. If you don't like the way I promote the doors that way, take care.
There you go. It's funny. I'm glad you said that, because it isn't the tools. Because for years I used a Mustech flatbed tabloid size scanner for 11x17, and it was $98, right? But it did its job. The problem with that is that every third year it died on me. I had to buy a new one, right? Yeah. But it did the job, right? So it wasn't the price tag. It was just about you understanding how to manipulate the settings to get the resolution that you wanted and all that other crap, right?
Yeah, and I think I paid around $400 or $500 for this one, which isn't a bad price for a printer scanner, type of combo, or at least I think that's what I paid for it. But I bought it 5 years ago. and it hasn't given me a single day of trouble since, from day one. So, you definitely, if you're going to do this professionally, two major things you have to realize is, one is this is not a part-time job.
No.
This is not even a full-time job. If you're trying to do it on the level that myself and you guys and some of these other people are doing it on, it's a job and a half, day in and day out. But you got to understand that. The other thing you have to understand is not everyone's going to like what you're doing. People, and they for some reason they can't just stroll on by. They have to tell you why they don't like it. So you got to grow some thick skin for sure. And then the other one is, when it comes to the bigger items, printer, scanner, and stuff like that, make sure that you go ahead and spend the money and get a solid, reputable, item. Because time is money in our industry. And if we're down and can't scan stuff and we have to drive all the way across town somewhere to try to scan something and email something, that's 45 minutes to an hour that you could have been drawing a head sketch. That's $150 payment.
Yeah, exactly. I agree 100%. Like behind me, I have the Cintiq, right? To my left, I have the X Pen, right? Which is a smaller unit that I can take with me on the go in the hotel, whatever is a travel one, so I can continue to draw. So I have a backup in case something, and I think you have to have a plan to be able to keep yourself creative, which is solid.
Yeah. So Will, you say make sure they're reliable. Absolutely. Yep. So you quit your job, you start doing this full time, you're doing covers and stuff like that. But then you create a character or a comic called Psycho Sal. So talk to us about the creation of this character. When did it happen? Like at what point in your career as a professional artist now did that happen?
That was about 2 years ago. I knew one of the most important things, something I think is as far as the step system, at some point you have to do your own IP. You need to have something that's truly yours, that you can breathe life into, and hopefully the fans will love it, enjoy it. But about 2 years ago, I knew I wanted to get in that direction at some point. And I'm a big horror fan. Obviously the tattoos and everything. I'm a big horror nut. So I wanted to do something, since horror kind of had this resurgence here in the last 7 or 8 years. I knew I wanted to do something with that. Even though I knew going into it, it would 100% be not only a smaller niche market, it is a hard market. Horror people are real heavy about when they don't like something. So you have to be, it's not, you can sit and draw TNA all day long and you can sell that to most everybody, and that story could suck balls from the first page to the last page and people will buy it. We see it day in and day out. From the covers to the interior, and I'm fine with that. You do you, boo-boo. But I didn't, and I knew I could. Especially in horror, we've seen tons of TNA through horror, movies and stuff like that. I knew I could go that route if I wanted to, and I'd do $30,000, $40,000 Kickstarters from the get-go just because of that. But I didn't want to do that. So I knew I'd be fighting uphill from the get-go with it being a smaller niche market. Then on top of it, I wasn't milking TNA and stuff like that. I really wanted to be a throwback to classic horror, all about the storytelling, the mood, things like that, for lack of a better description, that kind of old school Hitchcock, but with a bit of slasher thrown into it. I knew I had the character idea, and New Orleans is one of my favorite cities. I absolutely love that city. I love the culture. I love the people. I love the energy. I love the architecture, everything about that city I love. And so I started talking, and I'm not a writer. So I took, all these notes that I written down. I knew I wanted to do something unique with him though. So a lot of the really intense moments are a bit off screen, so your imagination fills it in. That's always scarier, in my opinion, with storytelling. Then the other thing I want to do is this unique perspective. And the way we did that was, I knew the first storyline was going to be like 10 books of this story I was wanting to tell and introduce these characters. And I was like, you know what? I want to do something unique. I really want to pull the fans all the way in and run them through the roller coaster ride of emotions from a third person type perspective with the first 3 books, which are all told from the lead FBI agent's perspective of what's happening. This is all the same time frame, the same months as everything goes by. But then when I got to issue 4, 5, and 6, I wanted that perspective to change. Now you're seeing and experiencing everything through the eyes of one of the victims. Then when we get to 7 through 10, we change it again. And now you are seeing everything through the eyes of Psycho Sal. And he is a freight train of pure hate walking. You are not going to like him. He's not cracking jokes. He's not Freddy. Yeah, there's no pity party where you're going to feel bad for him because he got abused as a child. He's just a straight freight train of evil. And I wanted to stay true to that too. So it was creating that character, creating that book, and telling this unique story style of telling. So I gave all my notes and everything to Chris Hayes, who is an incredibly talented horror writer himself. And I brought him on board to take my notes and start turning this into that perspective. And then to help sell that feeling about it feeling like a truly different perspective for issues 4 through 6, I brought Lori Calcaterra on, who's an incredibly talented writer also. And she's writing the female perspective of the storyline. Because Chris could have easily wrote it, but it would still be Chris writing it. So you would still feel how he wrote everything else would still feel that way through the rest, even though he's trying to tell it from that other perspective. So I really wanted that uniqueness to fit in. And then 7 through 10, I'm bringing Chris back and Lori back, and they're going to split the duties on writing those because there's these certain perspectives with his mentality and stuff like that I think is going to play off uniquely feeding through the story. But I knew I wanted to do that, and I've got another book that's coming this year that's going to be something way bigger, more of a fantasy kind of storytelling with Cycle of the Blood Moon. But I knew that's what I wanted to tell for that first one. Like I said, a lot of horror books floating around in general, and I've read them, but nothing just made me go, holy hell. And so far, knock on wood, every single one of the Kickstarters has done really well. I mean, we're doing $6,000, $8,000 Kickstarters. And I know to some of you in the audience that may not sound like anything, but when you're doing it off of $10 books, $8 books, $15 books, and things like that, because that was one of the other things I wanted this Kickstarter on every issue to be affordable for everybody, no matter what their income level was. So those are great numbers for that type of thing. If I was doing the normal $30, $40, $50 a book on everything like everyone else does, we'd be doing $15,000, $20,000, $30,000 on a brand new book. But I'm happy where it's at. I'm happy with the popularity it's gotten, and I'm happy with the feedback I've heard from fans. I mean, we're already seeing people that's cosplaying Psycho Sally coming up.
Yeah, that's cool, brother. Where'd you get the title? The title for the character Psycho Sal, where'd that come from?
And to be honest with you, I really don't know. It was one of those things where one day I was just sitting around working on some ideas for the story. And, I knew it, obviously it's about a psychopath for sure. But for some reason, the Sal just kept sticking in my head. I don't know why. I mean, it's on my hand.
Yeah.
Wow. Is that a permanent tattoo?
That's a permanent tattoo.
Man, you're in beast mode, bro.
Yeah, that's my negotiating hand with certain people. But
Kevin Fuse.
Yeah, it's definitely been a great ride. That's for damn sure. Like I said, it's a tough one because of the smaller niche market of horror in general, but it's been a lot of fun.
Is it so? I know you have people writing it. Are you going to be drawing any of the books, or did you draw any of the books?
I drew on issues like 1 and 2. I drew some of the splash pages on the inside because that's all I could fit in. Because one of the other things that sets us apart with not only Charter Comics, which is who it's published under, but for Psycho Sal itself, I wanted that, mentality of I wasn't making anybody wait 6 months or a year between books. It wasn't happening. Right now, we have, by the time one Kickstarter ends and it's in the fans' hands, and we're moving into the next, and we're starting the next Kickstarter, it's about 2 months. 2.5 months between each book. Now that fluctuates a little with printing, you know, and anything that could pop up weird. Sure. But like I said, we have one of the fastest producings, and one of the reasons that happens, and for anyone out there that may not understand that, and why that's kind of a big deal, is because most Kickstarters, like 95% of them probably, you know, they need every bit of that money from the Kickstarter to fund their book. Sure. So they'll do like 1 or 2 covers, and they'll do 1 or 2 interior pages to show on the Kickstarter to give you an idea what it's going to look like. But then the Kickstarter has to run for its 30 days, then 2 weeks to collect the money. Then they send that money out to all the people that help make that book possible. And it can take anywhere from 6 months to a year between a book. I refuse to do that, because out of sight, out of mind is the way I look at it. And I wanted people to stay on the edge of their seats and get their books as close together as possible. So I fully pay for my book 100% out of my own pocket before the Kickstarters ever turned on. Yeah. That book is 98% done when we activate the Kickstarter. The only thing left to do is a little bit of lettering and just double checking edits. That's it. And then as soon as the Kickstarter over with, 2 weeks, it takes about a week to finalize everything, and then it go about a week to 2 weeks to finalize the edits and the last bit of lettering, and it goes straight to print. So in each one of Psycho Sal's, I'm anywhere from $4,000 to $5,000 per book out of my own pocket. And then I'm just using the Kickstarter to recoup the money that I spent.
When's your next Kickstarter for I guess
number 6 just finished. I'll be having a meeting here this Thursday with Lori about issue number 7, and that'll take her, you know, a couple weeks to get it written, because I'll give her all my notes, and then that'll immediately go to the interior. So to answer your question, that's the reason I'm not doing any of the interior pages, because if I did, on top of all the other work I'm doing, on top of all the travel I'm doing, that book would be once a year, if at best. So, you know, yes, does it cost me more money to hire someone to draw and color the interior? Yep. I mean, a lot more money. But we're also doing quality interior, quality colors, quality lettering. Even the paper and cover quality is better than Marvel and DC. So I spend more money on the whole aspect of it. I'm not printing in damn China or some shit like that and having my book shipped here. It's print local right there in Fort Worth, Texas. So,
yeah, man. No, listen, I've read the book. It's a really good book. Chris is doing an amazing job. I love the setup at the beginning, and you know, it's very Seven, like the movie Seven. You know what I mean? It's got that grit, that darkness to it. So I'm enjoying the book too. So I'm looking forward to your 7th issue, which I'm hoping it'll be out soon. But yeah, dude. So you're going to Wyoming at the end of this month. Yeah. What else are you doing? Where else are you going to be?
What's that? There's one I got to do in Texas this month. It's called Investabilia. I got invited out to that one. That's in the Dallas, Fort Worth area. That'll be my first time for that one. But then Wyoming, I've got to do that. What's it called? Wyoming Comic and Pop Culture or something. Let's forgive me. I'm terrible remembering the names and stuff. I have to go back and look at my calendar. But yeah, I'll be at those 2 and then a bunch of other shows through the year. But issue number 6 is the one that's going to break people's hearts.
Oh,
that one's coming with a warning label. Lori Calcaterra, that's her last part of the victim's perspective, and that one's going to be one hell of a roller coaster. So that one will be coming with a warning label because of the what's going on in the book.
Yeah, DJ Hall gave you a little assist here. He says Wyoming pop culture.
Yep, that's it. Yep,
that's what that is.
But I mean, it's and I definitely don't want to scare anyone off. This is just a tough industry. You gotta have a set, that's for sure, and you got to be willing to push it to the limit every single day. So I don't want to scare anyone off, because regardless of the hard work, the long hours, and all of that, and of course some of the petty stuff that happens, I promise you this is 100% worth it. It's absolute worth it.
Yeah, and that's the whole thing. I mean, we've been doing this for a long time, and I think we are almost like a cautionary tale, right? It's like, yes, it is fun, It is fun. This is fun. I mean, I love going to conventions. I had a blast just BSing with you, just sitting there, shooting the shit, whatever. But it is like you said, it's work, and there are people in the industry that are going to make it tough for you. You know what I mean? So you just got to beware. That's all it is. Beware. That's all. Come in with eyes wide open. Don't come in here thinking it's all sunshine and rainbows. It's not. It's going to be work. You know what I mean?
Word.
And the good news is, once you start getting the haters, you're doing it right.
Yeah. Well, I think I saw a quote from Kobe. Says, "People don't hate good. People hate great."
That's right.
You know what I mean? So
yeah,
is.
I just think it's there's hate, and then there's crossing the line, right? Hate on me all you want. I'm all good, but don't cross the line. I think that's
I mean, like you can say whatever you want to about me. I don't care. I know 100% I'm a shot of hard ass whiskey, and I'm not for everybody. I'm okay with that. I'm too blunt. I'm too opinionated. Now, don't get me wrong. I'll respect you, how you live your life, who you want to marry, who you want to do whatever with. I don't care who you vote for. I don't care, any of that, because I care about you and how you treat other people.
That's it.
And once you start crossing that line, that's where some folks need a reality check. And I mean, I do wish that more artists would speak out against the bullying that we see take place every single damn day. Would speak out again, or draw a line in the damn sand that if you're going to do that to somebody, if you're going to harass somebody, if you're going to slander somebody, you are not going to be in my bubble.
Word. I agree 100%. Mark Smith said William also did an awesome job bringing in one new and older artist as cover artist for his book, and I'm very thankful for him letting me do one for him.
You're very welcome. Yeah, I was doing something a bit unique that most people don't do. Every single issue, I saved 2 spots on there for someone who has never been published, or if they have been published, they maybe 1 book or 2 books. So I would bring them on, not really sweating too much about what their cover quality is. Now, do I lose money in that sense? Yeah, I do, because I'm not going to sell enough of their books on the Kickstarter to make that what I paid them to do the job. But I don't know. I think once we get to a certain level, and I'm not saying they're bad artists, that's just the way Kickstarter goes.
Yes.
I mean, I put big names on my Kickstarter before and still didn't make the money back. So it's just the way it is. I've watched people do it with retailer exclusives, put big names on a Marvel book or DC book, and could not regenerate enough to get their money back. It's just the way it is.
Yeah.
But I think a lot of people in this community love to talk that brotherhood shit and have no clue and no intentions of walking it.
Yes.
So and me personally, and it doesn't make me better than anybody or nothing like that. It's just, I think we have a special opportunity that we can share our platforms with other people. I'm nobody compared to some of these people, but I do got a fan base. I do got a pretty good following. I got a pretty good platform. I don't think there's anything wrong with that. Because social media is so large, it doesn't matter how good you are. It doesn't matter how pretty you are. It doesn't matter how much cleavage you're showing. None of that shit matters, because you can't do all the business anyway. So there's nothing wrong with sharing your platform with other people and lifting them up. Too many people love to talk that, lifting us up, lifting each other. And then you look at their page, they ain't sharing nobody's stuff. They ain't cross promoting. They ain't sharing your Kickstarter. But that's just the way the industry is. People love to look like they care. Yeah. Just as long as they look like they care.
Yeah, and I think that's why, being selective of the people, what I'm saying, is like they're it's like one of the things like George and I, like, if we're in, we're all in, right? Until we get crossed, right? So, when we believe in honor and loyalty. And so I think but you have to be selective, because not everybody has those values, right?
Yep. Yeah. There's a lot, I guarantee you, there's a lot of people right now that you talk to that you think is at least, a partner in this world. Maybe not a best friend or a friend, but a solid acquaintance. And the sadly is they're probably running their mouth about you right now behind their back. Yeah. I guarantee you some of them's running their mouth about me.
Yeah.
I've seen the screenshots. So I got birdies everywhere. I've got psychopaths everywhere, baby. So I've seen the screenshots, and it's a shame. It's such a shame.
Yeah.
It really is. You know, most of us, you know, to get over onto that other topic you guys are talking about, most of us, if you were into comics, if you were into art, if you were into heavy metal, we were bullied through school.
Mm-hmm.
Elementary, junior high, maybe even high school for a lot of us. It's amazing to me that we as a whole were probably some of the most bullied children in the world are out here doing this to one another. That we're smearing people's names behind closed doors with nothing other than you're just mad because they outgrind you.
Yeah.
You know, I've got people right now, like I said, I've seen the screenshots. I mean, there's part of it that it does bother me. I mean, it would bother anybody,
Of course.
Yeah.
you know, to when you, because especially like I don't mess with anybody. I don't go to anyone's page and comment on stuff they posted or tell them they're this or that. Like I don't have time for it. I'm too damn busy to babysit social media. So I mean, especially when you're in that boat where you don't interact in that level, to find out someone who you considered, you know, a fellow artist, and you see the screenshots where they're smearing your name and stuff like that. Now, mind you, not publicly.
Right.
It's in those private messages with this retailer or that fan, or, you know, trying to smear your name just because they don't want to do the work.
Right.
It's everyone else's fault why they're behind. You know, and it's so sad because, like I said, we're the kids that were bullied, and now you're doing it to the people that have already been through it in their life. That's mind blowing to me. Like even with what happened to Ed, you know, can I play devil's advocate about it? Sure. Should he have been chatting to someone under 18? Hell no. Hell no. Hell no. Any artist, any grown ass person, listen, stay the fuck out of people's PMs that's at least not 21 years or older. I don't care how good they are or how talented they are. Stay the hell out of their PMs. So I can play devil's advocate of that. You know, I saw the PMs the person posted. Did some of it come off as creepy? Yeah, it kind of did. Mm-hmm. But we don't know his real intention. And we know right now it's the cool thing to be, you know, offended. And it's the cool thing to, oh, look what this person is. Oh, he's grooming me. Mm. You know, we don't know what really happened. Like you said earlier, it's his story, her story, and then the truth.
Yeah. Yeah.
We don't know none of it. And we really have to stop this bullshit where we crucify people before we know what happened. And now, I'm sorry, I'm going to say something probably going to upset some folks. It's bullshit that it tends to be one-sided with men.
Mm.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, because there's a lot of women out here that are just as creepy, just as line crossing. I know. I've had them. Mm. I've had them follow me from my Comic-Con to my hotel.
Oh, I remember that story you told us. That was crazy, bro.
I've had them grope when they're doing a hug. Mm. I worked in the casino world for 10 years as a bartender and a dealer. I know what it's like to lean over because a band's playing behind you and some female lick your ear while you're trying to take their drink order. Damn. Or reach under the table and grope you. So don't get it twisted that it's only men. But we got to stop. We got to stop the bullying, though. We have to stop the petty stuff, man. We have to. The industry is a great industry. I mean, how privileged are you that I get to sit here and draw, regardless of the hours invested. I literally do 14 hours a day, 6 days a week. I do that days upon days upon days. I don't mind it because the fans make it worth it. I mean, how unique and badass of an experience is that you can sit and do something you did as a kid and not only get paid for it, but make a solid living if you're willing to do the work, and then have these fans that are grinning from ear to ear when they see you at a Comic-Con. Yeah. You artists that are floating around out there that has this, don't you know who I am? Yep, I know who you are, and I still don't give a shit. You are not better than any other artist working in this industry. I don't care if you've been in the business 20 years, 30 years, 50 years, or somebody's been on the block 10 minutes. You're not better than them. And you're damn sure not better than the fans. And the way some of these artists bully fans or the way they treat them on social media and things like that. It has to stop. And we have to draw a line in the sand, man. Yeah. It's got to be, look, if you're going to do that, I'm not going to associate with you.
Yeah, and I think that's the key, right? It's it's like it's guilty by association. I said, just to fit, you do it just to fit in. Nah, man, there's other things I can do with my time, and it's number one, I've never been an advocate for bullies. I've always been an advocate for the little guy, and I think pick and choose what you want to share with strangers wisely. Yeah, that's basically what it is. The internet is just a bunch of strangers. You don't know their background. You don't know their motives. You don't know their intent. Be careful what you share and be careful what you get involved in, because everything can be used against you.
Yep. Or you could just, you could also be on that thing like, sadly, the way I am, anything I'll say to you in a PM, I'll say to you in public to your face. So, I mean, that's the most important thing. Just if you're going to run your mouth, just make sure you're running your mouth about something that's legit. And that's usually the way you can tell. Like I always tell people, when you hear someone trying to smear someone's name, did they say it publicly or did they say it in a private message just to you?
Right.
If it's that bad, why didn't they say it publicly at some point?
Right.
But yeah, I mean, it's there's a lot of great people in this industry.
Yes.
There's a lot of people that care about each other, that want to see each other succeed. Now, they may not can share everything all the time or help promote everything all the time. We're all stupid busy.
Yeah.
If you're trying to do it on the level that we are.
Yeah.
But there has to be a line. Like I always tell people, when I hear someone running their mouth about me, I don't even give a shit what they had to say. My question at that point is, what did you say while you were sitting in the room and they were running their mouth about me?
Yeah.
That's what matters.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. Nah, you're 100%, my brother, 100%. But Will, I knew this was going to be a fun episode when you signed up for it. You know what I mean? I knew it was going to be good, bro. I knew it was going to be good.
I'm being tame.
No, listen.
You are
being.
But shout out to everybody out there, because we're talking about a sensitive subject matter. But one thing, I've watched you in action. One thing that I've seen you do at the convention, you're really good with the customer and the fans.
Yeah.
Right.
No. Hold up. Now you about to get some action.
Oh shit.
All right. So Mr. Paul Gomez. I'm gonna go ahead and let you know right now, the reason I blocked you was because I got tired of having to explain to you why AI art is theft and we won't tolerate it. So there you go. Now, you play dumb all you want. You ran and told people I bullied you. I wasn't bullying you. I told you straight up I was tired of explaining to you, because we had reached the mark of 20 plus where someone would make an AI post about how it's theft and it shouldn't be allowed, and you would come to that post and you would chime in with, I don't understand it. Can you explain it to me? It's no different than digital art. And at first we gave you that benefit of the doubt. We explained to you why it was bad. But come the 20th and the 30th time of explaining it, I was tired of explaining it. So was other people. So at that point, I have to look at it from a, open end type of way of looking. Is either you're playing stupid because at some point you want to use AI, so you're trying to justify it. That's either that or you just don't want to learn. So at that point, I blocked you and I roll on. That's what I do. I don't argue with nobody. I don't fight with nobody. I block and I roll on, because I'm not having that discussion anymore. Oh, that's bullshit, dude. I'm calling you a bitch ass liar right now. I'm telling you right now, you a bitch ass liar. And make sure you have that same energy when you see me at a show, because I'm telling you right now, that's a damn lie. I didn't cuss you out, because first off, you ain't on my radar enough for me to waste a video on to cuss you out. All I did was stated talking about AI, that I'm not explaining it no more. I'm not having the back and forth discussion on AI no more. And I'm blocking anyone that wants to justify using it. Now, that's what I said on it. So there you go, brother.
Oh, man, this is, when
I
you
just
said
told you what I said.
when you said you're about to see some action, I was like, wait, what action? What happened? What
I
happened?
told you, I'm not having that damn discussion no more. After the 20th and 30th time of me and other people explaining it, I put you on the block list and I rolled on. And I did do a video, but my video didn't have shit with your name. My video had to do with people trying to defend AI. And you have tried to defend it since the damn day it popped out. Playing dumb, pretending you couldn't comprehend why it was different.
Yeah.
I don't give a shit what anybody told you. I was cussing the situation. Your name wasn't important enough for me to call out live. Because at the end of the day, you can use AI all you want. I don't give a shit. So there, brother.
Bartender,
now, you want to come in my yard and play? I'll put it out there. You've defended AI since day one, playing dumb because you're a writer who can't draw, pretending you didn't understand it when me and many others tried to explain it to you. Now, like I said, when I see you at a show, I'm going to give you all the opportunity in the world to share your thoughts. I told you I ain't playing that bullshit no more. Because you're one of the petty ass people that found out I was talking shit about AI, not your name, and you ran and told people how I was bullying you. I'm sorry, that's not bullying you, little man. No, that's not. No, there is no point of view. See, that's it. There is no point of view. And I didn't cuss you out. So again, show the proof or shut the fuck up. I told you, we ain't playing hearsay games. Show the proof or shut the fuck up. Because I'm telling you right now, there is no explaining your point of view on AI. AI is theft. It is robbing artists. It is taking work from people. And it's people like you who want to keep it going. Like you, I don't get it. It's no different than digital. At that point, you're playing stupid, hoping that people would just throw their hands up and say, you know what, to hell with it. I don't give a shit. Use AI. That's what you're doing. Yeah. So, sorry, brother.
No, I agree. AI is a cop-out. It's just like bootleg.
And I apologize to the people in the channel. It's just I have zero patience for people that want to steal from other people to get shit done.
Yeah, no. Obviously, there's history here, but
I give we did some AI matches.
Yeah, we did
some ring matches. Yes, you were. Yes, you were.
We did a show on AI, and we agree 100%.
No, hold back up. You called me out face to face, brother. You ain't done. You saw me at College Station, and you hid behind your desk. You ain't said shit to me in person, and you won't. Because you know damn well I'm right. Because if you did, you'd have said something then. Because that was after I put you on the block list. So if you felt so offended, if you felt so crossed, why didn't you walk your ass over to my table and say something instead of coming here to a computer and trying to say something? See what I mean? Because you know you were wrong. You know you're lying out your ass. Because if that were true, you'd have walked your ass over there. No, I haven't. You want to go look at him? Fucking dumbass.
Well, listen, Will. Paul obviously is an upsetting topic right now. But my man, listen, I want to end this on a positive note, brother. So tell us where you're gonna be next. Tell us how we can get your book.
This drink got so good.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah, listen.
Like I told you guys, you know me, you know how I am. I got zero tolerance for fake ass people. I got zero tolerance for thievery, and I got zero tolerance for people that want to lie and hide behind a computer. So it's okay because I'll see him at a show, and I'm gonna give him all the opportunity in the world to check me. So,
well, so
you weren't no foot away from leading, little dude. You come up to my belly button.
Paul,
what the hell are you gonna do?
Paul,
give me a foot rub?
I'll put it on timeout.
Enough with the post thing on the chat, man. Let's end this like this right now.
Yeah.
But Will, my man, thank you so much for coming on, brother. We appreciate you.
Listen,
we're gonna have you back. Hey, they have the two of you back together. You know what I'm saying?
We gotta
this has been good. This has been good. This has been good. This has been
Yeah,
good.
like I told you guys, chat.
Supported pledge.
There's a reason I'm called the angry artist. And I got you back all day long, but don't come act stupid.
I hear you, brother.
But anyway, before we were interrupted.
Before we were rudely interrupted by someone with zero talent.
This debate. I was commending you on how you take care of your customers and the fans when you're at a show. I watched you. You are in your element when you're there. I was just want to give you kudos to it. To what I've seen when
fans are priority, baby. Fans are priority.
Preaching gospel.
Hey, you got to preach it, man. You got to preach it. There's too many fakes running around. Case in point, too many fakes running around. They want to use me to try to give themselves some clout. I love my haters, baby. I love them. I got T-shirts made for them.
T-shirts.
You got a T-shirt. This guy's
a part of the hater brigade. You didn't know that? But no, seriously, on a serious note, though, like, the fans are, you have to treat the fans that way. They have to be the priority. I don't give a shit about some no name guy raging in chat and bullshit like that. It's all fun and games. I don't mind poking him because it's an easy poke, but it's almost like a prison poke. But anyway, the fans are what matters. You can ignore all the other. You can ignore the stalkers. You can ignore the troublemakers. You can ignore the AI wannabes and all of that. The fans are the ones that matter. The fans are what it has to be. And then it's the other good people that actually do the work, that are actually willing to put fans first, that are actually willing to help lift one another up and things like that. That's what it matters. And that's what it's all about and what it's important of. None of this is possible without fans. Yeah. So like you were saying about the way I interact with fans at shows, you have to. They spent their money to get in the door. They spent their money to shop at your table. And let's be honest, not everybody's got tons of disposable income these days. So the fact they choose you, it has to take priority.
Yeah, and kudos to you because that just being there with you made me reevaluate my game. Right, I was like, oh, this guy's on another level. I was like, I gotta bring my A game. Right,
well, you know what it is too, though, Sam. You never know who you're sitting next to. Right? Yeah, so we don't know what kind of vibe it's gonna be, or we don't know what kind of, you know what I mean. So to see somebody who was, again, and Will, like you said, you speak your mind, right? But you never step on our toes. Like, you know what I'm saying? If Sam's making a sell, you were never like, yo, hey, come over here. It was all respect. It was all respect, and we appreciate that. And that's what
even while we were sitting there, I sent people over to his table.
Yeah.
I had people come, hey, make sure you guys go check out this guy's book. He's got a really badass book with this little alien dude, y'all. Make sure you go over and talk to him.
Absolutely.
And that's what it should be. It shouldn't be
100%.
It shouldn't be the petty crap. It shouldn't be the blatant lying. It shouldn't be the let me speak my mouth while I'm on the internet, but not in person. It shouldn't be any of that. It should be, hey man, I hope you have a great show.
Yeah.
Hey man, congrats on your newest book, or congrats on your show you got invited to. It shouldn't be all this other silly crap. And I'm sorry, I'm going to speak my mind, and there's no filter between my brain and my mouth. And I have an absolute zero tolerance for petty, childish shit. Yeah. So,
so much so
like that, but
yeah, so much so that for Cowtown, I was like, yo, make sure I'm next to Will.
yo, Will, didn't Will just say, hey, you know what? I've been tamed today. Didn't he just say that right before? My man.
It's all fun and games till somebody's whispering in your ear.
Yeah. I was like, yeah, because they kept hitting me up. Are you gonna come to Cowtown? Because that guy said, all right, I'm gonna go, but you gotta have me next to Will.
Well, I love you guys. I know you guys are wanting to wrap up your show here, but you guys, when I met you guys, first time I met you guys was Texoma, and sadly, that is true. A lot of the people you get sat next to are sometimes rude, sometimes non-social, and that's okay. Some people are not social. That's okay. I can deal with that. Yeah. But some are rude. And you guys were an absolute pleasure the entire time I sat with you. You know, we BS the entire time. We had a great show. We did great numbers. We had a great crowd. And, you know, and I paid attention to that. I watched you guys interact with fans because that's how I judge people. I don't judge them on how they talk to me because they can be putting on a facade.
Right.
You know, I don't judge them, you know, necessarily what I hear about them. I try to pay attention to how that artist interacts with those fans and how did they make those fans feel. I mean, I watched you guys give away some prints and some of your books to a few people.
Yeah.
I mean, most people don't do that, you know. I do it and a few others do it, but it's not a lot. You probably, you know, you probably count them on two hands that do that. But, and that doesn't mean anyone has to give away their wares. I don't mean it that way. It's just when you see someone that is like that, that's the people you need to bring into your circle and be around them because they are the ones that's going to make sure you're doing okay. That if you do have a problem, they'll come talk to you. When you see how they treat the fans after 8 hours of a show and then the next day and then the next day and how they're on the last day and how they treat those fans the same way they did on day one, you know those people are genuine, which means you know you can have them in your circle and you don't have to worry about the petty bullshit and the drama, you know, and things like that. So, yeah.
Look at that.
Yeah, that sounds fun.
And just looking forward to Cowtown. That's awesome.
Yeah, I was like, that's the only caveat. You got to have me next to this dude because I need that energy.
Yeah, because sadly, my energy's through the roof from the day the door opens to the last day. It's weird.
Yeah, no, it's almost like you have like you're like a bloodhound. You can sniff when they're like 5 feet from your booth. You're like,
and the people in the comment section, I didn't mean to hijack the thing there at the end. I really do apologize for hijacking it. Oh, I just have zero patience for people that just want to start drama.
It's all right. This is what made UFC what it was. It was that fight between what are the two guys in UFC that damn, I just had it. It was on Fox and they were fighting
McGregor and that other dude.
No, it was when they first came on Fox TV.
Oh shit, that was like 50 years ago.
It was the first fight. And that's what made it blow up and become because people were calling in like these guys are still fighting. It's 5 rounds, and it just blew up. So
Wes said Bonner and Griffith.
Bonner and Griffith, there you go, Stephen Bonner. Yeah.
How the hell do y'all remember that? I can barely remember what happened last week.
That's right. That was the fight that made UFC what it is.
You might as well come in here with. You remember that one time back in 1890 in New York? Them two dudes got into a fight in the boroughs. Like, dang, how the hell do y'all remember that? Yeah, we'll definitely do a part 2. Maybe we can get the other goofball that wanted to run his mouth on, jump in the comments. I'll have a whole lot of fun with that one because that's the one that messaged my daughter.
Oh no,
man!
Yeah,
Jesus.
Heat them. Yeah.
Oh man!
But so what do you guys got coming up? So let me give you guys my thing. So
yes,
please,
bro. Well, come on, bro.
www.artofwilliamrussell.com is where you can find my website and my online store. Cycle Sound #7 will be going to Kickstarter here in the next month or two. Cycle the Blood Moon will be dropping later this year also. That's a big epic tale. Will probably be one of the largest indie books in Kickstarter with about 30 issues. At least I haven't found anything bigger. 2 shows this month, one in Dallas Fort Worth area, one in Wyoming. You can find me at Art of William Russell on Instagram and Facebook. Yeah, this is about comics. Actually, it's about a little bit of everything.
It's a little bit of everything.
This is a great example. It shows you guys some of the stuff we deal with.
Yeah.
From idiots that want to jump in, couldn't speak their mind in person, but they got brave behind that keyboard.
We've come full circle.
So it's a great thing.
I recommend Captain Morgan private stock. I'm just saying.
Sadly, man, I haven't watched wrestling since Attitude.
Wait, WrestleMania's tomorrow? Holy
is it really?
Yeah. Brock got nothing on you. This is better than WrestleMania.
But yeah, you'll have to forgive me, man. I'm very protective of my fans. I'm very protective of people that I call my friends. And when I see someone trying to promote AI or justify AI or justify harassing people or justify stalking people, I tend to lose my shit. So I'm just glad I wasn't drinking.
Oh man,
I've been drinking for both of us.
What do you guys got going this month? Well, what's y'all's next shows?
C2E2, bro. I thought I was going to see you over there, but I forgot that you were going to Wyoming.
Come to Wyoming. You said
He's going to C2E2. I'm going to Central Texas Comic Con.
Oh, okay. I haven't done that one yet. I need to do that one.
It's a fun show. I did really well last year, and I'm excited about going back this year. And then May 4th, I'll be at Geek Out in Mansfield, Texas, doing a book signing on Free Comic Book Day.
Nice. That's another one too. So a little piece of advice for anybody wanting to get into this industry. Even if you're trying to do it part-time or trying to do it full-time, again, please make sure that you put as much effort into yourself as you can. Be the biggest damn grinder in the room, no matter what, no matter who's looking or not looking. Yeah. Be the hardest worker in the room. It'll get you where you need to go, and it'll get you there faster. Be willing to travel to some shows in your state and stuff like that and get yourself seen by fans. And one of the most important damn things, and then I'll quit rambling on to you guys. You guys got to remember, I work so many hours. These chats are the only times I'm really talking to anybody. So I tend to talk too damn much. So I apologize.
So good.
But make sure as you grow your fans, you give your fans the attention they deserve.
Yes.
Answer their PMs as soon as you're able to. Don't ghost them. Don't ignore them. Don't do that bullshit. You take care of your fans, and I promise you they will have your back, because I guarantee you fans will be the most defending linemen you'll ever need.
Yeah.
And just do right by people. There's a reason there is no posts about me other than somebody claiming he got, bullied, but yet he ain't got nothing to post. There's a reason for that, because I don't screw with people. Make sure you do the same thing. Yeah. Anything that you're willing to say, which is why I said it right here in front of all of you, be willing to say that in front of the public as well as behind, because that's what protects you. That's what keeps your fans understanding what's going on. Good deal, man. So make sure you do that. Make sure you put the fans first. Make sure you make them an absolute priority. I don't give a crap how long you've been in the industry. Make them a priority.
It is huge. That sound advice is huge. It was one of the things that I love celebrating the people that support, and whether it's they can get the book or they just share or retweet, whatever. It's like the little things that make a difference, and just that acknowledgement, that time you take to acknowledge them, is huge.
And the other thing is, if we're all dealing with issues, we all have some type of at this point in life, some type of PTSD or trauma. We're all dealing with some level of depression, really and truly. And this can be a very, very hard job in that sense. You have a lot of highs dealing with fans at shows, and then the long drives back home, it's just you and your thoughts. The hours of sitting at at the table, it's just you and your thoughts. If you're having problems, please, man, touch base with somebody. There's tons of 800 phone numbers you can call. I think one of them's what's the other one? 988, I believe, is one.
Yeah.
If you're ever having those hardcore thoughts, man, please reach out to somebody. Do something. Because I'm telling you right now, whether you know it or not, you being here is 100% value.
Yeah.
Absolute. I understand you might be dealing with stuff and going through stuff, but you won the lottery being born.
Yeah.
And I understand you could have had a very hard life. But I promise you, the world is a better place with you in it than you not. So please talk to somebody, and let's try to get control of this crucifying people before we know what's going on.
That's crazy.
Because, regardless of what happened to that guy, someone lost a son, brother, whatever the case, and we lost someone that has done a decent, amount of stuff in our industry that now it's gone, all because of the mob mentality. So yeah.
Yeah, it's a huge thing. And I know we've come across a lot of people. We've dealt with it ourselves. I've dealt with being in that dark place, right? And it's sometimes it's just you need an ear. Sometimes you just need space. right? Sometimes you need to just break away from the world, right? You know, whatever it is that works for you, you got to find what that is. But if you have, you know, and I think in society, it's almost like it's uncomfortable for people to, because they don't feel equipped to have to handle it. Man up, right? If you're a real friend, you're gonna be there and listen. You know, if you really care about the person that's in your life, give the time and just listen. Make yourself available. Pick up that phone, right? And just be an ear. Sometimes it's just an ear, right? And sometimes no, the person who's dealing with depression doesn't want you to solve the problem. They just want somebody to hear them, right? Just want to, you know, sometimes speaking out loud helps you reflect and solve your own problem sometimes, right? When you hear yourself speaking to somebody who's just sitting there acknowledging and listening and showing empathy, can make all the difference in the world, from a person who's going to do something drastic to a person who really says, you know what, I can get through this.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. And if you need to on social media, like I said, you know, that's the reason I don't argue with them anymore. I add them to my block list and I roll on. I don't care what they think of me. I don't care what they got to say about me. For the most part, I block and roll on. Now they're going to get mad that you blocked them, obviously, but just do that. Just if somebody, like I said, you got to grow a little thick skin with this industry, because people are going to say things, or people are going to run their mouth, and you're going to post this art that you spent tons of hours creating and you love it. And sadly, someone's going to feel that weird need to tell you why it's terrible, man. Just don't argue about it. Block them and roll on. I get it. I get it too. I mean, regardless of the work I've done. Like I said, I know I'm not the best artist in the world or anything like that. But I'll get people every once in a while. They'll chime in. Oh, I don't like that. On a scale of 1 to 10, it's okay. Well, on my scale of blocked, see you later.
But you know what? Right. It's beauty's in the eye of the beholder, right? Right. It's, you know, so it's not everyone doesn't have the same taste. I mean, the debate of Jordan being the greatest of all time, they're going to be people saying no.
It's not a debate.
Right?
Yeah, that's not a debate. What are you talking about? That's not a debate.
You hear people say LeBron is the greatest of all time, right?
Wherever you are.
Right. You know what I'm saying? You know, it's like you're gonna have the retractors out there who's not gonna buy into the, you know, or not gonna drink the Kool-Aid. So I think at the end of the day, your job is not to please everybody. Your job is to please yourself and do the stuff that you love. If you love it, it's gonna show in your work, because you're committed to your work and you're committed to the process and you're committed to evolving and growing as a creative, whatever that form is, right? So you're the audience, right? Because if you're a fan of your work, someone's gonna like it as well, right? And eventually it'll become a domino effect. But you're never gonna win everybody over. What do you think when you're at a Comic-Con? There's 1,000 vendors, right? There's so many things for people to choose from, right? But you know, the odds are someone will dig you.
Yeah. And that's who you latch on to. You latch on to the fans that care about you, not some random person on the internet. And again, don't be wrong. I'm not saying that you post a piece of art and they say, oh, I don't really like that one. That's okay. I don't mean block that. Right. I mean, block the ones that want to try to like actually degrade your art. And, you know, so I mean, there is a fine line.
The trolls, the guys that you know are trolling.
Yeah. We've all had them.
See, I missed out on a good thing, though. I started doing it. I should have done it. I was really going to do my whole live video from the bathtub and everything.
Bro, I'm like, yo, let's see what Will
is lying. And then I was like, no, I don't need no more damn stalkers, people hiding in my bushes. I was like, I can't be showing all the goods no more. I got a long time ago.
They showed the Kinkles. Oh man, what an interesting show, man! It was like a roller coaster ride tonight, bro.
It's been amazing. It's been amazing.
I told you guys there's a chance it might get weird.
You brought it, bro. You brought it. Dude, thank you for being on the show, my man.
Thank you.
You're welcome back anytime. Seriously, anytime, whenever you want.
We might have the great debate on the show. So we gotta sell tickets for that one.
Bro, I forgot to have popcorn, bro.
You missed out. See, I almost made my drinks to come in here, and I was like, is one of my psychos really going to show up? I mean, let's be honest. And then, damn it,
man, I started guzzling. I was like, this is gone.
He was sweating. Sam was sweating.
I was like, Garcon, can I get a refill?
But see, you're a good stalker, Kevin. You guys are good stalkers. I'll see you guys all day long.
That's awesome.
But no, thank you guys so much for having me. Like I said, I absolutely love chatting with you guys. It was a blast at Texoma. I can't wait to chat with you guys. Are both of you going to be at Cowtown?
Nah,
I'll be at Cowtown.
Really, dude? Really?
So I'm doing Superhero Comic Con. Are you doing that one?
Are you going to San Antonio?
Yes.
So when we see you at Superhero Con, George is going over there too.
I'll be out there.
You know what we ought to do for Superhero Con? Wait, who's going? Both of you or one?
Yeah.
We're both going.
Booking.
You know what we ought to do? We ought to rent one of those big Airbnbs and just.
As long as you stay out of the path.
Yo.
Thank you guys for having me. I hope you guys had a good time.
Nah,
like
great
I said,
time,
with
dude.
me, you
great
never
time.
know what you're going to get. So
no, great time, dude. John loved it. Awesome show. First time tuning in. Thanks, DJ. Thank you, Wes. Dude, this has been amazing. Will, you're the man, brother. Thank you.
Thank you guys. I appreciate it. Thank you guys for tuning in, man. I appreciate you guys coming out, supporting their live show. And thank you guys again. There's not a lot of people who share their platforms with other indie creators.
Man,
so thank you so much. I appreciate it.
Yeah,
thank you, brother.
Absolutely, man.
Enjoy.
All right.
Peace.
Oh man.
What
a show.
Russell, bro. I mean, we met at Texoma and we just hit it off. I mean, again, it's one of the things, same thing. Like I just DM'd Chris Hayes. It's like, look, I'm gonna go, but I gotta be next to this guy. Right? I need that energy.
Nah, he's money, bro. He's money.
Yeah. But wow. This is a roller coaster tonight, right?
I know. It got a little ugly, but you know what? Difference of opinions, and that's what happens, bro.
That's what happens. That's it. You know what? We're Switzerland, right? We're Switzerland, right? We'll go. It's like we're for the many, and so bring your points of view, whatever it is. But that's what life is about. But. A lot of great subjects, important subjects tonight. I think I'm all against AI. I've always been against any automation that takes away employment, whether it's in retail, whether it's in the workforce.
Yo, what's your boy Todd doing about that cover, bro?
I don't know. Ask him.
Well, we gotta talk to your boy, bro. He's got to come out with something.
Me, I really want to know what's up.
Yeah, seriously.
So I don't know what Todd's doing about that. I know he got a lot of flack on that. Flack. But I don't know what Todd's doing about that. But I think AI is
Wes. Big shout out to Wes, man. And look at Jonathan. Jonathan's ready to get rid of me. Yo, Will was great. No doubt. The Craze needs William. That's the third co-host.
It got crazy. It got crazy. For a moment there, I was like, yo, I got no popcorn. I was like, this is nuts. It was special.
Man.
Again, if you're new to Cast the Craze podcast, we're the first independent comic book podcast ever. We launched in 2005. And the whole purpose was to give a platform for the unsung hero, the independent comic book creator, the independent creator in any medium. And because at that time there were only two other platforms. It was Comic Geek Speak and another one, and they were for mainstream comic books. It was for the big two. So we created this platform to give the artists and creators another an outlet. And we're the longest running podcast, and we do this for the independent community. So if you like this show, please subscribe to the channel. Let the algorithms work in our favor. Hit that thumbs up. Share it with your friend on your platforms. And if you're listening to us on replay on Spotify or Pandora, leave a comment, head over to YouTube, subscribe, because when we grow, the independent community grows. And that's why we do the show.
And listen, the other thing I wanted to mention was, we're trying to stay away from the Kickstarter game. I understand that that's a big draw. Everybody's got a Kickstarter, but we like shows like this, organic. Will came out here and he talked about his experiences as an artist, why he decided to start doing this professionally. And that's what we want. That's what we want. We want to do that. So make sure you tune in. Thanks to everybody, man. Everybody who came out. Big shout out to everybody. You guys are amazing. If you haven't done so yet, subscribe, like, do all that fun stuff like Sammy said. Make sure you check out The Art of Samuel. Make sure you check out Get Your Meds, our other YouTube channels where we talk about, comics, and Sam does great vlogs from conventions. So you want to check that out.
Yeah, you want some behind the scenes stuff from Comic Cons? Check it out.
I talk about the art of comic writing on mine. So yeah, definitely check it out. But yeah, man, it's been a blast. Sorry if I offended anyone. Nah, dude, you're good, bro. You're good, man.
No, and shout out to everybody that just showed up. You know, I'm seeing a lot of new faces like Cameron and Wes and
DJ
and Kevin Anderson, and just a lot of new faces. Thank you for coming in and supporting our guest and checking out Catch the Craze podcast.
And listen, a big shout out to the ones that are always here. Michael San Martino, Arelis, Lupans. Gilbert usually comes on.
Rodriguez.
Obviously Johnny Syfax, Anibal Arroyo. Everybody who came out. And if we missed you, it's because you were all Hugo, big time.
David Howard.
Yes, man. Lori.
On forever and ever.
Yeah, L.A. Cunningham.
Again, shout out to everybody out there because you.
And shout out to even Paul Gomez, bro. Even Paul.
Paulie G came on the show and it was like it's crazy stuff, man. I was like, what it is. I was like, what's gonna happen tonight? I don't know.
Grant Lankard was on here. Mark Smith. I mean, we've had some.
Grant Lankard,
yeah, we've had a few people.
Thank you, Lou. Thank you, Lou. Yeah, it's I should have filled this up. Next time Will comes on, I'm gonna make sure the bottle's next to me. I should have filled this up because I was like, damn it, it's gone. I was like, I need more.
Damn it, it's gone. You needed some liquid courage. Sam was getting nervous.
I was like, what's going on here? It's like, but then I was like, wait, this is what made UFC famous. I was like, all right, let's just roll with it.
Yeah.
Let's just go.
Oh, you guys. Anyway, guys, we'll see next week. We're on next week or what?
Next week we are on. I think our guest is. Let me tell you who our guest is next week. Hold on, Calendly.
If you guys, if John and Anibal are watching, we have bad news for our show.
We got bad news. We gotta read the heat. Yeah, we have to reschedule the reunion because I'm away for that week traveling for work. Let's see. So next week we got Kevin Davis. So Kevin Davis is on.
All right. Big shout out to Kevin.
What is he talking about? He's talking about something. I don't know because he didn't give me details.
His world. He's got a whole bunch of stuff going on. Kevin's
Conversal Brands. That's what he's talking about. Conversal Brands.
It's his whole brand. He's bringing it. Good times.
As I said, William is your guest next week, and next time he's on, I'm drinking too. Yeah, bro. It was fun. It was like, I was like, why am I feeling so warm?
I saw your face. I was like,
he's hot here.
I was like, you getting hot. I was like, damn, I was like, I had popcorn.
I said, yo, man, who put the heat on? I was like, what's happening? But it was fantastic. But again, freedom of speech. Debate. But keep it PC. And I'm all for debates and having good debates. But to Will's credit, I am an artist and I am against AI as well. So I'm just saying. As an artist speaking,
FAI, bro.
Yeah, that's just my opinion, and that's where I live. But yeah, so shout out to everybody who joined us tonight. Thank you also for your support. This is fantastic. Share this episode with a lot of friends. Let them know that this is where the party's at. With that said, I am Sam the Crazy Man Vera,
George the Jima Medina,
and we are out.
It's just easy. It's not.
Crazy. Acquiesce.
No, I was talking about my friend Acquiesce. I met him.
Say my name.
Right?
This is what you were thinking? Oh,
How you describe me? He said, I'm the
What? Catch the Craze. You're listening to Catch the Craze. You're listening to Catch the Craze. To Catch the Craze. You are listening to Catch the Craze. Catch the Craze. You're listening to Catch the Craze.
Candy girl.